Ah, the year 2020. A peaceful, uneventful year. Nothing really happened this year, right? Except, there's that, yeah. Well, absolutely nothing happened. I mean, we're all trapped in our homes, right? How can things happen? But that's ridiculous. Some things happened this year. They really did. And none of us expected them. Why, I wouldn't be surprised if something that seems impossible actually happened. For example, aliens would come to our planet. Only they would look around and say, nope! Who would want to invade a planet like this? These people are crazy. So in a way, we're actually being protected by the year 2020. Or something else could happen, such as the coronavirus would all of a sudden decide that our country is much too boring for it, and it would just leave. Wouldn't that be nice? I'm just coming up with ideas here. Why am I doing all the work? Anyway, what do you like more than anything in the world? Pizza, right? Duh. Okay, maybe what if pizza just vanished from the earth? That would be terrible. What are you gonna eat then? Or social media. Yeah, that's probably gonna be bad for a lot of people, although TikTok's probably leaving anyway. But please don't touch my Insta. Or what if our bikes just rode away? How do we act like we're from the Stranger Things show? Or all the electricity just moved to the ocean for a swim? It could make for some tasty fish sticks. Look, it's 2020. Anything can happen, you know? Just wait. The aliens are probably looking down at you right now and deciding what to do next. But you're probably boring them and they're just gonna leave. Well, that sounds good. The year 2020. Goodbye.
Oh, man, what is up, everybody?
Let's go!
What's good?
I feel so informed by the videos that we always put on the show.
I learned something today. I did.
I think I know.
I think that's enough for me for the evening, so I'm ready to sign off. Good night, students. Thank you for joining us on the show. Let's just wrap it up now.
Wait, Dan, wait. Steven, don't go anywhere. Guys, it's Sunday night. We're just starting the show. Don't leave yet.
Just starting.
Oh, my gosh.
Here we go.
I'm still angry.
Thank God for that Sunday nap. I needed the Sunday nap to get through this, honestly.
Seriously, if you guys, students, we're so glad you're here. But if students, you had the attitude like Dan and Stevan right now, and you just left to go take your Sunday nap, although that's healthy and a good thing to do, I'd be pretty upset because I'm already mad. I'm already angry. I am mad at you, not you, Dan and Stevan.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
Let me get back into character. I'm mad at you, 2020. Dude, 2020, you were like a child seeking attention. You know,
look at me.
Just like Dan, every day. Like, it's 2020, it's like the first few years of working with Dan. He's just crying and screaming everywhere. I'm just kidding, Dan. But you know, 2020, I'm really just embarrassed for you. Seriously. Since March, you've been lying on the floor, kicking and screaming like a spoiled little 5-year-old who did not get his participation trophy for lawn darts, the rec league. Not even the professional kind.
Professional.
You're not even good.
But seriously, you 2020 are like this kid who's trash anyway, is still crying of not receiving that participation trophy. But seriously, now you try to hit us with an earthquake, but you don't even know how to do it.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah, everybody's good, right?
Be mad.
Yeah, we're good.
Now I'm mad. Okay. You're fine. Now I can be mad. Okay. But you try to hit us with an earthquake, but guess what? You can't even do that right. Because I didn't even feel it. And if I didn't feel it, it doesn't exist. So I really, Dan, I didn't know about you and Stevan, but I really doubt it ever happened. Hey, students, let me know in the hashtag.
In the wood, and nobody hears it.
Didn't feel it.
Really fall?
Let me know in the
I
comments.
was driving and I didn't even feel it.
Yeah, let me know in the comments. Hashtag what earthquake, didn't feel it. But anyway, it's just a lot of words.
It's a long one.
I'm angry. I can't even think. But so I'm thinking, nice try, 2020. No one likes you anyway. But to be honest, I'm really mad that I didn't get a chance to even feel the earthquake. I just want to feel an earthquake.
No, seriously.
Because I've always wanted to.
Shake your computer and it will look like an earthquake.
I don't know what that was. I apologize.
The computer, not you, Mark.
This computer's expensive. Don't make me more angry, Dan. Anyway,
you literally just turned into a GIF and a meme at the same time.
I know, right? Stop
Every
making me laugh,
student
Stefan. I'm trying to be angry.
rewind, screenshot,
Mark
and then
meme.
GIF it, meme it, make it happen.
Okay, let me get back into mad. Anyway, you can't even get the earthquake right because I didn't feel it, so I just want to feel it. But I'm mad because you took that away from me. You've taken so much away 2020 this year, and now you didn't even give me a chance to experience the earthquake. Because don't you remember, we had a conversation, me, you, 2020, me and you, because I told you, when I was sharing my heart with you, I said, you know, it was at length we had this conversation that I just really opened up to you because I thought we were friends, and I told you sensitive stuff about how I really like watching HGTV and Fixer Upper, and how I think Joanna Gaines is a boss.
She is.
And and sometimes 2020, you said that you can't stand her obsession with the shiplap board she put up, and I just stormed out. I was angry, and I was ready to forgive you, and we made up later, but no! You had to take everything away from me, including the earthquake 2020.
I feel like, Stevon, we should be rocking mad faces this entire time. Like,
I know.
we aren't there with Mark, and I feel bad.
Or shaky streams.
Yeah, I know.
I apologize. That felt like emotional diarrhea, and I apologize.
Mark, this is a safe place. But now that that's done, students,
we can remind you what your mom says all the time.
Yeah. You know what my mom says? She says, like and share this show now.
So make sure students
my mom is a fan.
Like it, share it, and be active in the comments, which I think are over there. I think they're over there. I don't know where they are. Like them in the comments. Let's go.
But let me take a second, Dan, because I'm sharing my struggles with you and Stevon. How are you guys doing this week? What's it been like so far?
Well, Stevon's here.
I know.
Yeah, I'm here. Like,
he's in the office.
It felt like an earthquake when I was driving to get here last week, but I'm actually here right in Raleigh. But I'm gonna be honest with you. The thing I wish 2020 would actually take away, and not because I wanted to feel the earthquake just like you. Like, I was like, what? We missed it? Like, I never lived on the West Coast, so I never got a chance to experience. But I wish that we would have had the opportunity to take away the mask. My gosh, I feel like Jim Carrey. I mean, mask every day, can't go anywhere. It's just like, I can't do it, man.
New idea. We should all
singer.
just be Jim Carrey in masks when we wear masks.
We should do this show as masked singers and have the guest who's inside the costume.
Well, I'm the better singer, obviously.
True, but I feel like I might pass out because I need to respirate. So all that, that sounds like we're in a struggle. I'll tell you guys right now, I may struggle with anger issues. Dan may struggle with being willing to sing through a mask, and Stevon probably has corona breath. I don't know right now, but we all have our struggles, right? Really, I'll tell you.
Yes.
Stevon's struggle is Wi-Fi. Anyway,
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
All
day.
We have good things tonight. Let's hit them quickly. Yes. Move on. Let's go. We gotta go.
Each challenge is coming up, and each challenge is gonna be something that's so good it's gonna make us cry. Possibly. That's just a hint. Also, reaction of the week from the Eat Challenge is going to be here. And this week on the internet is back with stupid, ridiculous stuff that we find entertaining because we have nothing else to do in life. So, but to experience all that, I'm not going to show it to you unless you like and share this content now. That's just what I have to say.
Cool.
But first, Stevon, don't you have something come up with the Easter egg stuff we want to tell them about?
Yes, we do. We have a lot of participation, and this is becoming a game favorite. And we have a couple winners that we want to announce from last week. So we have Stephanie McKinney, Sophia Wiggs, and Caitlin. Congratulations on winning in the Easter egg game or challenge. So the prizes are on the way. You're on the lookout. But if you don't know, and if you're new here and you don't know what Easter egg is, it's simple. It's very simple. It's this. We will throw a object or something on the screen throughout our show. You got to be paying attention when it pops up on the screen. Yes, and it goes with the show. It has something to do with what's happening today. And so when you see it, the first person to drop it in the chat actually wins a prize. And you don't know. It may be 1, it may be 3, maybe 5. You never know.
Might be 200
for the Easter egg game.
All
right.
Shall we do comment of the week? Comment of the week. Comment of the week.
Do it.
Comment of the week.
Who's going first?
Me, I'll take the first one.
Okay,
fine.
You
want to take
just
it?
kidding. No,
it's already you, Stevon. Go.
There we go. Okay, I'll take it.
Go.
So this comes from Educate All 2004, who's a great participant in this game. Comment of the week. She said, "I can bring my Bible and read and show them to class roommates." So, hey, Love that. Love that you're sharing your faith, sharing the gospel. Take note, guys. Be like, educate all.
Love it.
Yeah,
Mark, it's your turn.
Yeah, we were challenging people to see what they can do to own their faith. And Noah Turnquist said, I've tried leading some of my friends to Christ. Hasn't worked yet, but I'll never give up. I love the attitude, man. Way to go, Noah.
That yet. Now, I went a different route. Tessa Porter commented, little $ tongue and then throat face. It says, Mr. Stevan, you destroyed the best cereal ever. Because we did an eat challenge last week where we ate cereal. That was disgusting. Yep. So make sure that if you have not watched that episode, students, go back and watch it because it was hilarious and disgusting. But we're going to do an eat challenge now for you. So let's eat.
I'm not excited.
Everybody wants to party.
What are
Guys,
you doing, Mark?
as if last week wasn't a terrible thing enough.
It was
where
pretty
we
bad.
ruined cereal, and I'm a cereal fan. I think you are too, Sivan and Dan. I thought we would just ruin ourselves today. Instead of cereal, we take it up a notch. So today, this is an onion, a very large. It looks bigger than my head. Look at that. But the goal is this. Dan is going to throw up, not yet physically, but he's going to put up on the screen a 30-second timer.
Oh, we're timing it.
And basically, me and Stevan and Dan are going to, right here in the middle of the screen, see how much we have to eat as much as possible in 30 seconds. And I wish I had mascara on and makeup. I took it off before the show because it would all be streaming down my face.
You did what?
What? Did I just say too much? I don't know.
So am I hitting a... So, Stevan, are you ready for this? Mark, are you ready for this?
I'm totally ready. I'm just concerned, but I'm ready.
Okay. I think...
I'll say 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, here we go.
I will say 3, 2, 1. The timer will start, and we will destroy our mouths. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh gosh. Oh yeah. Oh.
20 seconds.
Oh, it's so spicy.
5 seconds.
What? How is that?
Done. That's it. We did it.
I'm hurting.
Hey, students, we did this for you. So, like, comment, and share this clip with someone because my eyes are watering really bad.
My eyes are spicy.
To save ourselves. And let's just move on.
Love is all that I can give to you.
Why is it moving? Why is it moving, bro?
Go ahead. You can try it again.
I'm stoner.
Oh, yo, you want to help me bring it in? How's the fishing? Help me bring it in.
Yes. That's how I raise my kids. I threaten them with waterboarding. That's what I do.
I mean, isn't the best thing ever to chase someone else around somewhere with water and just like,
Yes.
What I loved is she was like holding like a little cup that you would use swish fluoride in from the dentist. Like that was going to catch the water.
Like, please no. Anyway, that's
Kids
enough
are
of kids. We love kids. We love students.
Wet
We
water.
love people. Yeah. Let's have our conversation now, shall we?
Yeah.
So last week we were watching the show and watching the comments and engaging in those, and we noticed that students started to ask questions around sharing your faith and how am I supposed to do it? Like, it's weird to do it. I don't know how I feel when I do it. And Stevan and Mark and I were talking around just this idea of sharing the goodness of God and really trying to recognize that in this culture it might be very difficult, but if we can simply share something good in this season, that we believe that God's can still be given, shared, offered to others. But before we get into our conversation, let's get two students on the show. We have Will and Madeline joining us on the Skype, so let's get them on here right now. Click a button. Here we go. Welcome to the show, both of you. How you doing?
Good.
Excellent.
Well, I'm glad that you made it this evening.
What's
Excellent.
up, everybody?
High level. Stevan, it's this way. Stevan, and then Mark's over there. You guys are up here. You can't see yourself, but I can. Let's just start with a question. How easy is it to share or talk about your faith with your friends? Madeline, let's come to you first.
I definitely think it's pretty easy for me because I do go to a Christian school and most of my friends are already Christians. But it is like, because we are surrounded by it so much that it's just like we kind of glaze over it and don't really talk about it that much, even though it is that easy to talk about it.
That's good. And Will, you're kind of glitching right now, but we're going to ask you this anyway. What about you? You go to Millbrook High School. We still hear you. We do not see you, but that's okay. How easy is it for you to talk about your faith with your friends?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of depends on the friend. Sometimes, I have buddies that have grown up going to church every Sunday, and then I have friends that have probably never been to church. So that's where it kind of can get difficult. It's easier with the people that of course, have that faith and go to church every weekend because they think the same way I do. But sometimes I have friends that don't really go to church, don't really know God as well as the average guy. So I mean, it can be kind of hard. It can be challenging to find the right friends. And not saying that you can't be friends with people who don't go to church every weekend, but it's always good to kind of let them know like kind of where you stand and kind of encourage them to pursue a good belief.
Yeah,
Good.
That's good, man. And so for me, I have a question for you guys. Have you ever tried, or if you did, how did it go?
I mean, I have tried to talk to my friends about it because some people that still go to my school, even though it is a Christian school, like they aren't saved. So I have talked to some people, and when I have talked to them, it's gone pretty well. And definitely because there are like other teachers there and other students there that are like small group leaders and have like done stuff to know how to talk to these people. So it's gone pretty good.
It's good. What about you, Will?
So going back to like kind of the different friends, when I'm talking to some friends about that go to church and everything like I do, it usually goes around pretty well. We have some good discussions about like kind of the more trickier parts of the Christian belief, like different situations where it can be hard to be a Christian, and it's good beneficial conversations for both me and the other person. And then there's the other ones that aren't really going to church as much. You kind of have two different reactions. One of them, they kind of push it to the side and like you kind of just like don't really engage. And then there's the other ones that are morally interested and want to get to know about it. And of course, if they want to get to know about it, I tell them everything that I know and whatever they want to know. So it can kind of go in different directions.
That's good. Hearing about both directions, I love what Madeline said. I want to kind of ask a follow-up question for you concerning that. Like, I know I went to a private school, Christian school. I don't know if you guys have done the same thing. And I know how it can feel like you're you're coasting on your Christianity, essentially, where you're like, I'm good. It's a safe place. It's a safe space. But it's almost like you don't witness as much and you don't feel the conflict of your faith sometimes. How do you feel, or how have you seen the struggles and the successes when you talk to friends that are like totally not Christian, have nothing to do with your school or church? How has that gone for you?
So for those people who are just like really are not about it, I won't push it as hard to them, but I will still pray for them all the time and just pray that they will have some wisdom with them and go to God. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
What about you, Will? I know you basically answered that question, but I just wanted to know how does that feel for you when it comes to like non-Christian friends? Because I know it's a difference and distinction.
Right. Kind of this thing where you have your own belief, you have your own not belief, but you have your own ways of thinking, and I'm not gonna push the envelope every single time that I see them, like, hey,
right,
and talk about my faith. But yeah, I definitely I'll hint it every once in a while, and I'll definitely try to get them engaged if they're not, and if nothing ever works, I just pray for them, which is all you can do.
That's all you can do. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Sometimes, man. All the time. It can feel like a challenge to not just stand for your faith only, but also just to tell the people about it. And what I'm hearing from both you, Will, and Madeline, is that you have two different experiences. And I think it's what Stevon was kind of hinting at. There's two different experiences. Madeline, it can feel like it's not as challenging, and Will, you might experience more frustration. But the thing to start thinking about, like in real world application, I know school is kind of your world, or virtual school, whatever it's going to look like is your world right now. But that's kind of where you live. And I would challenge you guys to think outside the box with school, because your faith is important. And I love seeing you guys grow in your relationship with Christ. And so maybe sometimes you just got to wrestle a friend down to the ground to make him listen to you. I don't know. Maybe you got to punch him. I'm just kidding. Don't punch him in the face. But my point is, like, you might have to get their attention. And you guys both just continue to develop relationships with your friends is really the best way to do that. And so when you're developing these relationships with your friends, whether they're at school, outside of school, or maybe at a part-time job, does it strike you, and do you actually think that there is a need to talk about God to them, to make God part of your conversation every day? Madeline, what do you think?
I definitely think if it's not already like present that they're a Christian and you're like, oh yes, I can like definitely talk about this, I'll kind of like wait it out a little bit, and maybe I'll hint like, hey, like, what are you doing this weekend? Like, do you want to like come over and go to church with me and all that stuff? So maybe I can just like hint at it a little bit more.
You should also tell them that there's an awesome student pastor at your campus too.
Oh, definitely.
He's fantastic.
That's right.
That was a little plug for myself. Sorry, guys, it's selfish. But Will, how about you, man? Do you actually think in just everyday life there is a need to talk about God, to make him part of your everyday conversation?
Of course, because whether you stand for the Christian belief or not, or whether you take part in it, Jesus and God is in your life every day, no matter who you are. But I feel like really understanding, like how the Bible works and how the faith works. I feel like you as a person will be more happy, and I feel like making people more happy is a good goal.
Yeah,
and that's the goodness that the gospel is. The good gospel. Gospel is good.
Yeah.
So when we share the gospel, we're sharing goodness with others, and that joy, that happiness, that peace that comes is so critical. Hey, thank you both for joining us for a few minutes on the show tonight. Thank you for answering questions. Make sure you give them a shout out in the comments before they leave, and as they leave, to say thank you. Have a good night. We will see you both hopefully soon on Sunday Live, or maybe in small groups. See you around. Thank you. I love when students share what they're thinking about, what they're feeling, their perspectives. They're always so helpful. I love what Will and Madeline said. These last few minutes. It's just incredible. I would like to ask you too, what do you think the reality of sharing good news is like in today's culture? Mark, let's come to you first.
Yeah, to be honest, man, I think here's our reality. The world, our families, and your friends out there, students, need it now more than ever. That's we're on a slope like this in the world right now. That's what it feels like. But to me, what's mind-blowing, but it certainly lines up with what Scripture says we will face, is that as much as they need it, they don't want it. In 2 Timothy 4:3-5, it talks about like there's a time that's coming that people will not endure sound teaching. They won't want it, but they'll find other things that their itching ears want to hear. That feed their own passions, and they'll turn away from the sound teaching. And so we as Christians got to stay alert to that. And so for you guys, you students out there, I want to encourage you, man. The reality is that we have to be ready to endure through that, because a lot of that will lead to persecution and people putting us down for our faith. And we need to understand that there's a cost to sharing the good news.
Yeah, Stephen, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I believe, honestly, the reality of sharing the good news, it starts with being real, right? Being real and being organic, like we've been literally living off this GMO faith, like this fake faith, and trying to be real with people, but we've been being fake, and people want real. That's the reality of the gospel. It needs to be a real thing, and I believe it starts with relationship, right? It starts with a real connection, and it starts with community and a conversation. Like, you don't have to strive so hard, but inside of those little circles that you link up in and that you do life in is where that change begins to happen, and you can have the opportunity to actually share the gospel and the good news to others in the culture.
Yep, I agree, because I think, like Will and Madeline mentioned, like, it is hard. Like, it's hard because you have different group of friends and they have different beliefs, and in this season of believing whatever you want to believe, of this ever-changing truth of offenses right around every conversation. It's hard to open up and be like, take that risk and say, I want to talk to you about Jesus. I want to talk to you about something good in my life. And like you're saying, Stephen, you have to be authentic and real and lead with a relationship, because like what you said, Mark, it is hard. It is very difficult, and there can be fear associated to it. And students, when you're watching this, like, you're not the only one feeling that way. Even me, when I'm out and talking to family and friends who don't believe what I believe, like, when an opportunity is there, the first feeling I have is like, I don't want to do this. It's not like but it's taking that risk and saying, look, I feel like God wants me to say something, share something good in this moment, and just stepping out and doing that. And I would love to hear other tips that we might have to help students in that moment where they're like, I feel like I should, but I know this person, I don't really want to. What do they do in that moment? Stephen, I'd love to hear you go first.
For me, I believe one of the ways you can do it is just this is pretty simple, but we don't think it is, because we're like, it's being a Christian, right? We make it so hard. It's simple. I believe you need to be caring, right? You need to be cordial. I believe you need to be consistent. And I think that starts with you showing empathy, like showing that you understand, like Jesus did. Like, sometimes we want to bring the answer to people without hearing their problems. Well, you can't answer their problems by just throwing the answers at them. You have to work that answer like you had to do in math and in school. I think we need to do that more in our relationships, and when we connect with people, we're doing real life with them and not judging them, right? But showing them love. And, I just think you need to be nice to people, like I said, because like, honestly, I've seen mean Christians, and that's like almost a dichotomy. It doesn't really go together. And so I think that's where it starts, being caring, being cordial, and being consistent, especially in your faith, because you can't preach something that you're not living. And so I believe you want to live it so that people can see it, and then they want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I just want to say after that, consistent character communicates more than your words do most of the time. Because we all know people who talk. We all know people who talk a big game. Then you get into the weeds with them, and you see them being something else. And you're like, but you said this, but you're doing this. So in your life, students, when you're trying to share your faith, your consistent character will communicate more than your words were. Because you can say things with your words, but if your character doesn't support that, like, you're setting yourself up to not be heard, not be listened to, not be respected. And what we have is good. So by living your character filled with love, with joy, with peace, that is good. People are going to feel that. And that consistently live, like you said, Stephen, is going to communicate so much. And that good, your friends are going to want to see. They're going to want to feel. They're going to want to experience, because they're going to see your character, and it's going to point them to Jesus. And then in those moments, you take the opportunity that Will mentioned. Like, you don't say it all the time, but when that opportunity is there, you step in, and you don't let fear drive you. Mark, what are you thinking right now?
Yeah. Well, I think to both of your points, to do any of this, to be consistent in that character, to stand up and take advantage of the moment that God presents you with, you got to understand that, to me, the crux of all this, it takes commitment. Jesus committed his life to us, and if we can't commit to living it for him in return, we need to reevaluate our heart and our spirit. But I think if I could give you students out there a tip to sharing the gospels and living out your faith, I would just say be ready. We as Christians need to be ready for the faith that we say we have to live it out in all situations. Because here's the deal. I'm going to say this real quickly. You might face shame and need to deal with how to deal with that. Understand how to deal with that. 2 Timothy 1:8 says, therefore, do not be ashamed of the testimony about our Lord. This is the testimony of him and what he's done in your life. This is the greatest thing ever when you give your life to Jesus or when your friend does. Why do we hide that? And if we do that, we might have to suffer for the gospel, it goes on to say. But your testimony is powerful, not because it's yours, but ultimately it is yours, but it comes from God and his power. Paul said in Romans 1:16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it's the power of God for salvation. It has great work it's going to do, not in your life, just alone, but everybody else's. So you have to be ready for that shame. I also want to encourage you to be ready to endure suffering, but in that suffer well. Real quick, I'm going to wrap up. 1 Peter 3:14 through 15 says, but even if you should suffer for what is right, you are blessed. Do not fear their threats. Do not be frightened, but in your hearts revere Christ as Lord. Here's my favorite part. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give a reason for the hope that he has. Another translation says to give them reason for the hope. So we got to be ready to stand for this. Because you got to proclaim that message in season and out of season. That means when it's difficult or when it's easy. Students, be ready. That's all I got to say. Be ready.
That's good. I love that. Be ready to share something good. Be ready to share something good. Be ready. Let your consistent character, your commitment to consistent character, to prepare you to share something good. Sivan, I want you to share a last thought that you have right now.
Yeah, I was going to say that was amazing. Thank you for sharing that, guys. I think one of the biggest things is in the time where we're living in a hopeless world, it seems like at times, what better way for you as Christians that are living the greatest hope, right? It says that in that scripture in Romans 1:16, for it is the power. There's power in it. It's power in your story. It's power in you sharing. And so it doesn't take that much, but sharing takes one step. And maybe that step is to click the button, that the share button right in front of you, or maybe it's to text a friend, or maybe in the comments. I don't know if you want to be a little bit more practical tonight. Drop one of your friends' names in there or family members that you're praying for. Like Madeline said and Will said, they pray for the people sometimes because sometimes they don't get it. But if you would drop somebody's name in the chat tonight, we would love to pray for them throughout this week and believe and hope that they would receive the faith that we share. Because at the end of the day, all this doesn't matter if no one goes to heaven and have a relationship with Jesus. And so that's why we do this. So I wanted to challenge you to take that step. Press that share button, drop a name in the chat that we can pray for moving forward.
I love it.
Yep.
Let's close our conversation with word prayer. I love to do that this week, so if you guys wouldn't mind praying with me. Father God, thank you for this opportunity that we've had to speak to Will and Madeline and have a conversation around sharing our faith. I pray that you'll give boldness to the students watching this to always be ready to share something good, to let their consistent, healthy, positive character lead the way in these conversations, and that we would do the inner work needed to develop that character so we set ourselves up for the opportunities when they come to speak good to our friends' lives. Thank you for this opportunity that we've had today in your name. Amen.
If I could be real, I would tell you I love Jesus. And I believe every word in this book is true. But the truth is, sometimes I don't even know how to have this conversation with you. To me, Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to my life. But sometimes I still be tripping. I'm still learning how to live right. I've made a lot of wrong turns, and I don't want you to judge me. But what I want to share with you is, even though I messed up, Jesus still loves me. I'm not talking about religion, like you've got to be perfect. I'm talking about a God who loves me and you, even though we don't deserve it. I wish I could tell you all of this right now. I want to share my faith with you. I don't know how.
Hey, I want to say to that, guys, be ready, students, to consistently connect to this YouTube show. Every week it's on. Like and share it. Also, don't forget to follow us. Where, Stevan? Where can they follow us?
You can follow us on Instagram at students.crossroads. Be on the lookout for all new things, new content coming your way.
The link to that is in the notes. Also, we are going live Sunday, August 23rd, Wake Forest and Millbrook campus
This
at the 11
Sunday.
o'clock.
Speaking of new
It
things.
is this coming Sunday. That RSVP link is also in the comments below the video for you to click an RSVP. Now, if you already done it like through Instagram or through an email, please don't do it a third time because there are spots that we have to like open up for people and make sure it's social.
It's limited.
So only RSVP once. But make sure if you haven't, you're gonna be here next Sunday. RSVP, please.
I cannot wait to see you.
That's
I was talking to students, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I like you guys, but I miss
we see you. We
so
see you all the
I
time.
really appreciated the dance party that Mark threw last week for us at the end of the show. And because he knows this is coming, he said he prepared something special for us right now. Go, Mark. All right, that's it. Y'all have a good night. Have a good week. See you when we see you.
Oh, I don't know what it's called, but it's from the 1940s.